We're out here in Washington, D.C. with Lance Parker, the founder of BankX, which is an amazing cryptocurrency stablecoin. And Lance, we're standing right in front of the Supreme Court building here. And I wanted to ask, with the Supreme Court being what it is, with literally the words equal justice under law, how do your personal beliefs and individual liberties affect how you created BankX?
Well, I always, since I've been sort of interested in politics, I've always taken the path of looking like what gives the individual the most freedom. So it started off as being conservative and now really more of a libertarian. So software is just software unless you put some intention behind it. And so when we were building BankX, we looked at sort of every way that we could build the system so that it would enhance the individual freedom of the system. So it's completely decentralized, meaning no one person can control the system, and you are in complete control when you interact with our system and the blockchain. It's just you interacting with software that no one can control. So you can do this at 3 a.m. on a holiday, or uh, mint stablecoin anytime you like to earn interest, and it's just you and the blockchain. So you have complete autonomy with the system.
What specific features of BankX would you say enhances a user's privacy and freedom?
So the thing with privacy and blockchain is if someone finds out your wallet address, because it's a public ledger, they can technically see your transactions. There are a few blockchains that are built for privacy. So BankX, with the deployments that we are on, if someone knows your address, they could technically see your transaction. As far as autonomy, that's really the belief behind blockchain, where you have your own wallet keys and you do what you like when you like with the system. So we fall in line with that with BankX, where you don't need to any middleman or anybody in between to interact with the system.
And is there anyone that profits off the system? So, for instance, most of the cryptocurrencies have fees that they charge people. Does BankX work like that, or?
Right. So the idea behind BankX was to replace the entire legacy banking system where there's middlemen who are, attached to a system or an account or the reserves where they earn the interest off of it. With BankX, we don't charge any fees. We've taken every aspect of the legacy banking system and given it to the individual. So you own the collateral, you mint the stable coin, you earn the interest. So every aspect of banking, we've put that into the hand of the individual. So you don't need a bank with a system like BankX.
So, in what ways do you see the regulation that we have now or regulation you see coming in the future? How would that affect decentralization and specifically BankX?
So I'm not sure, Fabian, that it's whatever they do with regulations going to affect what happens on the blockchain, because it was built to not ever be stopped. The only thing that it could do is hurt a country that decides to be heavy handed and go after and try to regulate cryptocurrency. That, I think, would just force people and founders to either go anonymous or go to other countries. And so, if the US were to do that, which thankfully it doesn't look like that's going to happen with Trump, uh, it would just force all of the talent somewhere else, and I think affect the financial dominance that the U.S. has already with the dollar, and then what they could do with cryptocurrency to maintain that sort of financial supremacy that we have in the world. So I don't see regulation affecting crypto in general. It would just more which countries would be winners and which countries would be losers, I think. So I think it's very smart of Donald Trump to get into cryptocurrency, because you remember his sentiment towards cryptocurrency in his first term was not really the way it is now. He is full, launching his own meme coin, Bitcoin strategic reserve.
Yeah.
He's talked of no taxes on US based cryptocurrency companies. I believe there was the rescinding of SAB 121, which now banks can custody Bitcoin. So there's a lot of moves in the right direction, and obviously the Presidential Cryptocurrency Advisory Council is
Yeah.
another part of it. So I think in general it won't affect crypto. It's just I think it'll decide, who are the winning and losing countries based on how they respond with regulation.
And what are the basic problems with the stable coins that people typically hold now, Tether, USDC, because it's tied to the dollar? Isn't that supposed to be stable? And what's the entire problem with that BankX solves?
Right. So USD backed stablecoins, they're going to face the problem of inflation. So no matter who's the president, we're still going to be printing crazy amounts of dollars. So we have right now $1 trillion being printed every 100 days. So we
Wow.
have the inflation issue there. The other part of it is USD backed stablecoins is there could be a centralization problem where you either have an entity or in between you and the blockchain, or you have a bank that's holding the dollars, which are the backing the stablecoin that you're issued. So it can be shut down. There could be mismanagement.
Yeah,
So
because don't they just take your money and then they give you a digital dollar, and then what do they do with that money?
So a lot of the large ones are taking and investing that capital. So they make all the money. So there's billions of dollars being made by stablecoin issuers because they take those dollars and then they are then investing it. So they're making the money. Where with BankX, we've decided that you are making the interest. So
So
they're
and so how does that work? So the banks make the interest on the stable coins, and then you make the interest through BankX on your stable coin.
right. So when you deposit collateral in the BankX system, because it's your
Meaning
collateral,
like Ethereum or something
or
like
any
that.
sort of crypto
Okay.
native blockchain token that you deposit in the system, you earn the interest because it's your collateral. The way that the system is designed now with USD backed stablecoins is there will be dollars in a bank, and then they take and deploy that capital, and then they're earning the interest, right? So there's companies like USDC and Tether who are making multiple billions a year by taking your capital and putting in T-bills, or at one time Tether was the largest commercial paper owner.
Wow.
So they were taking some more risk than just putting it in T-bills.
So you don't know if the money's really there. If they make bad
That's
decisions, there could be nothing there. I mean, that's terrible from an investor standpoint, because you want to know that there's collateral backing what it is that you're using, right?
right. And there was times when Tether was questionable about what was happening with their accounting. Was the money really there? They've just signed attestations that would say just, yeah, the money's there, but we don't know for sure, right? And they are not a U.S. based company,
This is what people are putting their money into, or companies like
right?
this. And so BankX doesn't do that. BankX doesn't lend the money; it takes it to other entities, maybe like
Right. Everything is on the blockchain. So when you deposit collateral, it is native blockchain tokens stored in the blockchain that only you can access. So there's no one in between.
that. Not
That is,
even you. You can't even.
I can't know what no one, not even as the creator of the software code and thing. It can't be accessed. Only by those that have minted the stablecoin can access the
Interesting.
system. So another example of that is when USDC had part of their treasury, or the money that backed the stablecoin, had it at SVB Bank, and that
Mm,
bank failed.
wow.
There was a depegging of that USDC stablecoin for a bit, and that was all because people didn't know if their collateral was safe, and it
Wow.
and it hurt that stablecoin for a bit, but it's recovered. And there was I believe, some sort of a bailout from the government,
Really?
I believe, to pay some of the depositors at SVB
And
at that time.
hasn't
Yeah.
this happened before with other stable coins where they've just completely crashed and everyone lost their money?
It has. There's been a lot of experimenting with different types of stable coins. Like Terra Luna was one that didn't have collateral. It relied on all market forces,
Which
uh,
is just a bunch of code, basically.
code and market forces. And so the good thing is it worked for a long time. I think they built up a market cap of about 60 billion.
Wow.
And then when the market decided that they didn't want to uh, keep the peg, it basically crashed, and the market lost about 60 billion. And $60
$60 billion
billion
on a
was
stable
lost
coin.
on a stable coin,
And all because they
Terra
just had the
Luna.
wrong, they didn't
The
have.
wrong design, no collateral was the big problem with that one. Yeah.
So whereas stablecoin, like a Tether, will take your money, there's nothing actually there was nothing in Terra Luna.
Terra Luna had no collateral at all. That was
Wow.
the problem. So, because as they grew, people thought, oh, well, it's been working. So the idea is that it will keep working. So there was just a lot of faith in the market forces to keep that at peg. And when that when the market decided it did not want to keep the peg, it was a downward spiral, and it just basically went to zero.
And when you were building back BankX, did you learn from all these other failed stable coins and things like that? And how did that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was about a year and a half of R&D of just looking at different stable coins. What economic principles did they prove? What did they not? What worked well for them? What didn't? And so we took all of the things that worked well in previous stablecoin protocols and brought that to BankX. So we've designed a system where everything that we have in there has been proven by the market and really takes the control and freedom and putting it into the individual, where you are, you interact with the system as you'd like to do. So
And there's a bunch of safeguards that happening. What happened to other stable coins? Safeguards in BankX to make sure that doesn't happen.
absolutely, the biggest is collateral backing the stable coin that you meant, and then all of the other parts of the BankX system are already proven market forces and design elements that work to keep it at bay.
Here's one thing really interesting that I think BankX does differently than anyone else, as far as I've seen, is so I have USGC and I want to earn interest on it. I have to give it back to them basically, and then they give me a little percentage, but my money is basically stuck there until I decide to take it out. BankX does something a little differently, right? Can you explain how that works?
The idea behind depositing collateral is that when you create the stablecoin, you're earning interest the entire time.
Hmm.
And we do
Without
that.
having to lock up the coins, it's just to earn interest.
Right. So when you lock up the collateral that backs the stablecoin, then you're basically, by doing that, you're issued a stablecoin called XSD.
Hmm.
It's pegged to the price of 1 gram of silver, which is another thing we could talk about. And that entire time that you keep that XSD in circulation, you're earning interest on that. So
Meaning, so I could take that XSD that I just made and then go use it for something else, like invest in a crypto or a meme coin or whatever.
yes,
That's
exactly. So
that's new.
yeah, so the idea is you end up, from your collateral, you end up with a silver pegged stable coin, and then you're earning interest in the form of BankX tokens. And
Wow.
so when you decide that you want to collect your collateral and interest, you bring the stable coin back to the system, pay it back in. Those tokens are taken in by the system, and then you get your collateral plus your interest, and the interest is paid in the form of BankX token.
So basically, let's say I mint $1,000 worth of XSD. It's tied to silver, so I know the value is very stable. I can take that stable coin and go buy, let's say, Trump meme coin or something like that,
You can.
make money off it. The whole time I'm still earning interest in BankX.
Exactly. So the idea is where the Federal Reserve Bank, they're printing out money out of thin air, no collateral, and then they are lending that to the U.S. or some other country, and they're charging the people and citizens of the country interest. The idea is that now we have a system where it's real collateral being put into a blockchain bank, if you want to call it that, and it's creating the currency at that moment, and then you're earning the interest because it's your collateral. So as far as a way of comparing it to the Federal Reserve, there really is no comparison, right? Because we're pegged to the price of 1 gram of silver, where the US dollar is not backed by anything. They're printing it out of thin air to the tune of $1 trillion every 100 days,
Wow.
and they're earning the interest, and they can control and manipulate the different levers they have to create economic conditions that they like, whether that's interest rate or capital reserve requirements, where BankX, that is all put on the individual. It takes that, all of that sort of bad things that people look at the Federal Reserve, and put that in BankX where people control it instead.
Wow. And last question, what do people who are currently in crypto need to know about BankX and why they should use BankX compared to another stable coin? And second part is for people who don't know anything about cryptocurrency or just know about Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum, what should they know about BankX?
Yeah, so BankX, the reason to use that over other stable coins is it's the first to pay you interest for minting a stable coin. You're in complete control of the system with proven techniques. And I think that's the main thing that BankX brings to the market. And I forgot your second question.
Oh, for people who don't know anything about
Anything
crypto.
Yeah, so people don't know anything about crypto. You can certainly buy things like Bitcoin and Ethereum and benefit or get hurt by different price
I
fluctuations.
think that's a scary part. People want to buy it, but it's moving every day. They want something more stable.
Something more stable, right? So if you look at being in a stable coin, this one hedges against inflation. We think a much better way than USD backed by having the peg to one gram of silver. And so I think those are some initial things of people who are just starting to look into cryptocurrency that would
plus people who want to be off the grid and not have the government in their pocket looking at everything they have in their bank statements and their bank accounts.
There's a saying in crypto, not your keys, not your crypto. So if you put money into a bank, US dollars in a bank, it's not your money.
It's not even there.
It's there. It's not even there. And they do all kinds of things with it. And so it is, it becomes an asset of the bank. So it's not really yours.
Yeah.
So this way, with blockchain, you are in complete control.
Well, thank you so much, Lance. I think everyone learned a lot. Guys, make sure you check out bankx.io. Lance Parker, the founder and creator of BankX.